Hello friends, my name is Rajiv and in this video we will see HDA. So HDA stands for Houdini Digital Assets, and we'll see how we can create HDA and how we can use HDA in Maya with Houdini engine. So let's start to create Houdini Digital Assets in Houdini. So just open a new Houdini session here, create a geo node, and quickly just delete this file node, and we'll just create a simple HDA which is just a grid, and in this grid I would like to place some objects on top of that. Okay, so let's say I would like to add some spheres. Okay, so how I can just put those spheres on that grid? As you can see, this is sphere, okay, and this is grid. So to place the spheres on grid, you can use copy swap, and in copy swap the first input is the object which you want to copy, and the second input is the place where you want to copy or where you want to place your this object. So you will just click this into first input and the second input with grid, and just see. So here we can see the sphere is perfectly copied on top of grid, but here you can see this is the sphere is in straight line pattern. Why? Because in grid, if you see the points here, the points are in very straight pattern, so that's why you're not seeing any randomness in this. So but if you want to create some randomness in these spheres, so you should randomize these points. So to randomize that, you can use scatter node, but by default it's 5000 point. I will just reduce this number of points to something like 100, and I put this scatter in between grid and copy. So here you can see your spheres are randomized. Okay, but if you bypass that, you can see the previous one. So with that we created some sphere in random fashion on top of grid, but I want some other shapes like cubes and some hexagonal shapes also. So alright, no problem, we can create those also. Let's create a box here. Yeah, box. Yeah, box is same like in Maya, it's cube, so it's okay. And let's create a switch node. So with switch you can switch these shapes. How you can switch? Just select the switch node, and here you can see the select input. The 0 is the ID of the first input, and this is the second input. But you can see the line here, the dotted line is which is not currently visible or correctly selected by switch node, and this line is you can see this is the difference between these lines. So that means this is currently injected in this switch node. So if you switch this to 1, so you can see there your spheres now converted into your points are actually now converted into box, right? It just not depend on these two objects. You can add as many objects you want. So let's add some other like platonic solid, and just add this to here, and let's see, just because this is third time we are added there, and you can select and you can see there also the first one is the sphere, box, and platonic. So platonic is on third. So but here you cannot press 3 here. Why? Because it start from 0, the ID start from 0. So you can say 0 1 2, so that means platonic is 2. So with that you can see your shapes are changed to platonic. You can change it to some interesting shape like that. Okay, so this is like we used shape and we used copy to scatter them, but I want a scale control of these shapes, but I can individually control the shapes scale from this radius, or in box I can see the size here, but I want a uniform control for these shapes. So for that I can use a transform node. So in this transform you can see this uniform scale, that you can control the scale of your objects. So remember, this is not related to a sphere or any of this. Whatever is coming from the switch node, that will scale completely up or completely down for that. Okay, so this is the and we'll also, it's a good practice to rename these nodes, so if anyone else can see your file, so you can easily understand what's going on in there. So it's a uniform, so it's uniform scale. Okay, so I have grid, but if you see from the front view, it's everything is on straight in y direction. There is no randomness. Okay, to add that randomness, I will add some noise in this grid. So you can see this grid is straight, there is no noise in y direction. So let's try to add some noise by mountain swap, and just add this. Okay, just click on this, so you can see your grid is now displayed. Just click on copy swap, and now you can see there is some y some randomness in y direction. So if you select this and just reduce the height, so you can see this randomness you can create there. You can play with frequency, right? See, okay, so but this is static, and if you want animation in that, you can obviously play with this offset value like that. But I don't want to make this too complex, because I'm expecting most of you didn't use HDA before. So let's keep everything default and just understand what is HDA. All right, so we have this kind of thing which you don't understand right now what's going on. So let's just make a tool of this. So next time if you want to create this kind of stuff, you can just click and get all this thing, and no need to create these nodes again and again. So let's see how we can make this thing into a HDA. So let's create a out node also. Oh sorry, null. So in null, it's a good practice. It's not mandatory to you to create this, but it's a good practice, so it will properly indicate you that which one is the out node for this particular asset. So right now we have just created these nodes here, some nodes. These nodes can be anything. Okay, and now we will creating this to HDA. Okay, so you can use this option here. First we will convert into a subnet. Okay, so if you click this, it will convert all this node and put this into a subnetwork, or you can use shift C. So I'll use shift C, and here you can see I have a subnetwork, and I will rename this to a VFX. Okay, yes, this is VFX pipeline HDA. Okay, good. So here I can see some weird labels there, and where my all the nodes there, and how I can control other things right now. So no need to think anything about that, because we will create new new options or new parameter for those. So for that you can right click, or you can use this edit parameter interface, or this you can go to edit parameter interface. Both will open a same window. So let's click this. So this is your window where you create like windows inside Houdini. So in that window you can add buttons, you can add sliders, you can add ramp, you can add operators menu, and you can select type. There are a lot of things, like you see whatever things inside Houdini, these things you can create with this window. So it's pretty useful for developers, for artists also. It's a daily practice, you can use this. It's good. Okay, so let's quickly start with this. First, I don't want this default things. I'll just make this invisible, so this will not visible anymore. And just go inside this and let's see our things here. So I want some controls here. Okay, the first control I want is my size of the grid, like what should be my size of the grid, and I want to control the size. Okay, so to get that, either we can promote this parameter out there. So how you can promote this parameter, you can just expand it. Here you can see create parameter from node. So because we are gonna create a new parameter which is already exist, so you can go to inside VFX pipeline HTA, the subnetwork, and here you can see the grid, and in this grid you can see the name of your parameter is size. So you can see the size here. Okay, even you can see inside the size X and Y also, but we want both. But if you you can just click and put this here and just hit apply. So what you can immediately see the inside where the grid node is, it's immediately converted into green color. But when you click on this size, you can see some sort of expression there, and this expression says that this size value is coming from this channel, which is your one up directory. This two dots, it's your up directory, immediately up directory, and grid 1 size X. So that means this value is coming from here. So this is now editable. You can edit this and it will update the inside value also. So let's say 60 and your HDA things is updated, and let's make back to 10. Okay, so this is the one option. But one weird thing which I would like to show you, that when you create any parameter from existing node, you can see the grid 1, the name of the digital assets will definitely come there. So to get rid of that, I will just recreate this. I will go to the grid size. I just delete that. So you can just select and delete to delete that, and go to this this like gear option, and here you can just turn off the prefix linked parameter, prefix linked parameter. Right, so let's select size and just drag it there. So as you can see, this grid 1 size is now only shows the size. So this is very helpful, like when you import all the attributes from one particular node, it will just give you a name of that node to all the parameters. That looks weird. Okay, so to get rid of that, you can do this. Okay, so just right click and delete parameter, because that is already keyed there. Okay, let's say 10. No, delete, unlock parameter, and delete channel. So let's say 10, and your value is 10. Right, go back again, make this 10. So we will have the size of this grid. We can control the size of the grid with the outside parameter. Let's add some more control. So now I want control of the points. So I want to control the number of points. So we can use the same number of point parameter and drag and drop from scatter node, number of points, and drag here, click apply. Again it will convert it into green. I want this random seed also, so let's go back to scatter, random seed, apply. So the random seed will also be there. Uniform scale, this is now on the base thing. Okay, so we are not talking about the object, so we can use a separator first. So it's always a good practice to use separator. I'll show you where the separator is. You can, from type, you can use the separator, start with separator, and use again one separator here, and put some label also, so it will be easy to remember or recognize for others. So let's say this is our ground control. So this is our ground control, and so here you can see the ground control. You can see the size, point number, random seed, and next thing will be your object control. So let's change it to object. So controls. So HDA is like you are creating a mini application inside Houdini. It's very interesting. Once you use through this, like you will try to make everything which you are doing, just make a digital asset and just use it in your pipeline. For pipeline, it's very important. It's very useful feature. I like this as Houdini, because I don't see this kind of feature in any other 3D application. So all right, so now I want a control to select my object, because right now I'm creating the object control node. But for that you cannot use directly any other node which is exist, because that node is not exist. So you have to create that node. Okay, how you can create? You can go by type, and this time we will use a ordered menu. So let's see what is ordered menu and how it looks like. The label should be select object, apply, and your ordered menu should be like that. You can select object. Okay, so go to channel, go back to menu, because we are going to create the menus. Mostly you can use the Python script also to create the menu automatically, but this time we have only 3 objects and I don't want to make this too complex. So let's see how we can just generate quickly the menu. So first option, I want give the ID first and the object name. So sphere, okay, so ID 0 is sphere, ID 1 is box, and ID 2 is that is platonic. Okay, so let's see, we have these 3 objects here. If you hit apply, you can see immediately your box, platonic things are there. Okay, but this will not change anything right now. Okay, and if you want this thing to change, you can go inside and here you can see the switch node. Now we want to integrate our functionality of this switch node in select input into this Houdini digital asset. this select parameter. So we can just go to select this select parameter, and always like try to make this thing same, which is the parameter name. So let's select. So anyway, if you're creating HDA in Houdini and you are gonna use this in Houdini, inside Houdini, it's not an issue, but it's a good practice to make this name very clear, because if you next time if you make any program or any Python code related to that and you want to create the HOM, which is Houdini object model, so it's very easy to recognize these parameters inside Python editor. You can easily get this. But in here I want to add this option inside this. So what you can do, you can select and just drag this parameter here. So what is happening, it links that parameter here and just hit apply. Now let's see how the things will work with that. So if you select this, you can see box, platonic, sphere, and everything is going very smooth. You can play with this. Okay, very good. Let's make it 10. We can set the default value also. We'll see that when we pack this and publish that, but right now we will create the options. Okay, so no need to worry about that. Let's go inside and see the uniform scale. Yes, that's what I want, is for scaling thing. So let's add a, now I will show you a different method. So let's take a slider, float slider, and in that float, just rename that float to uniform scale. And why I'm saying this uniform scale is because we will add some random scale also later on. Okay, so because at this stage I seriously don't want to make this complex, because the concept I want to show you is what is HDA. So that's why I use only the basic to basic things that will clear you. Then we can definitely go inside and we'll create complex HDA. Okay, so yeah, for now I use just uniform scale and hit apply, and you see, go back here, you can see uniform scale. But right now obviously it will not work because it's not connected to anywhere. You can right click, you can copy this parameter, go inside, and if you select the uniform scale, you can see uniform scale here. You can right click and you can choose this option like paste copied relative reference. So if you click there, everything gone, because I know the thing will be 0. Uniform scale, yes, so uniform scale is 0. So when you increase that, now your uniform scale is connected to your object and you can control from outside, no need to go inside. Okay, so let's see what other thing which we can use here. Okay, I think it's okay. This is good for a demonstration, and let's just pack this and let's see how we can use this forwardly. So I would like to save this file first. Just save. Okay, and let's just make some default value for all these parameters. So whenever you create the size, go to the channel, and here you can, because these parameters, no need to worry, because these parameters are coming from already created nodes, but you can put your default value here. Like suppose you want to create, whenever anybody will create this node, the default value will automatically generate. So you can put 5, 10, whatever. So same applies here. The number of point, the default value is 100, so it's okay. Random seed is 0, it's okay. Uniform scale is 0, that is not okay, but because whenever the people click on this and they will see nothing, so you can use default scale 1 and hit apply and hit accept. So with that you can see, okay, so we can add one more thing here to make this thing a little bit more interesting. So we can add a noise control there. So for that we can just go to our from nodes and just select the mountain, and from that mountain you can use height. Just first this turn this off because it will get the name also. So we'll use these three, and first we'll add this thing here, number of points, random seed, and after that we'll add this, and we'll use a separator there. With this separator I will use a label also, a label which shows that this is noise. Okay, so ground noise apply, accept. So now we can see the ground noise there, right? So we can control the height and everything there. Okay, so now we want to convert this into a HDA. Right now this is not HDA. HDA means like if you right click, if you press tab there, and you can see all these options there. These are digital assets. Okay, so if you go to object level you can see this digital assets. Okay, but our this which we created like VFX pipeline HDA, this is not visible anywhere because we didn't create the OTL file for this. So what is OTL? OTL stands for operator type library, which you can install from here. Like you can install a digital assets library. If you create that, you can install that from here. We'll just go there in a minute. Like first we'll create the digital asset for this subnetwork. I would recommend you to make two file, to one for the HDA and one for the like your subnet, where your subnet is, because after we create this to a digital asset, your subnet will be changed to digital asset. So just for a safe backup you can use that. So let's say we'll make HDA asset. So this is my asset version, that's just for remember me. Okay, now I can quickly go there and right click and create digital asset. You can find there. Once you go select this, you will find this create new digital asset from node, and we'll just rename that to VFX pipeline HDA, and the operator name will be same, and this is the path where your OTL will be saved. Okay, so we'll rename that file to VFX pipeline HDA. So we don't want any minimum input and maximum input. So like this here, this is the minimum input and maximum output input. Also basically this is like if you have 4 minimum input, so how many of you want exactly to be connect if you want your HDA should work, or maybe is just leave this here. We'll talk this thing later. Just create accept. You can see some information. You can just discard and quit, save and quit it. There is some issue there, no change. I need to restart Houdini. Okay, so just started the Houdini and we'll see our OTL will be generated. As you can see in the OTL folder, this is VFX pipeline HDA OTL. Okay, so if you right click and go to digital asset, you can see VFX pipeline HDA and click on that. Okay, and you will see that your options are there. One thing you can notice that this is keyed, and once you create the digital asset, and if you want to fix these kind of things in your digital asset, you no need to go to your original file. What you can do, I just delete that previous one because I want this to work. And here you can see there is no sub network also here, or maybe we can use this. So let's select this. We can because we want to fix this, because this is already keyed there, so that's why there's no size to fix that. If you want to change that, and you can delete the channel 10 and 10. So with that you can change the size, and you can use allow editing of content, and after that you can save operator type. So next time if you create this digital asset VFX pipeline HDA, oh, this is the issue with the default, because if you go to the default, and if you want to edit this parameter, you can right click and type property, and in that type property you can see the parameters, and in parameters you can see the size, and in size there is some default channel is there. So instead of that, I won't use only the value here, like 10 and 10, and apply. So I think that is the thing which can work well. Okay, and change this to Houdini script to literal. Apply, accept, right click, save operator type, and just create a new digital asset, and things are perfect, fixed. Okay, so and you can see the color name difference. So there's a little tip here. So this is a editable node, editable digital asset, and this is non-editable digital assets. So what is the difference is, if you go inside this, and let's say if you create a sphere, okay, you will get this error like you have no permission to do something whatever inside it is. Okay, so that means inside this node you cannot edit, you cannot change anything. But once you right click and say allow editing of content, like this we did that, if you go inside that, if you want to create a sphere you can create, and if you want to change some of these nodes, you can change that easily. Then you can save digital asset, and that will override the previous digital asset and save with your new change. Okay, for now we just use this and just see that how our digital assets works. So we can change the size, we can change the box, change the and you can add the transformation matrix like transform, rotate, scale, shear things here for this object. So it's up to you, you can add all whatever, it's up to you what you want, you can easily do that. Okay, so this is for a little animation there. So this is how you create the digital asset. You have this with that you can create a digital asset.otl, and if you want to save if you want to share this digital asset with your colleagues, you can just copy this file in a common share folder. From there they can they can use this OTL. They'll just need to do, like, if you copy this in your OTL folder, by default this location is your home Houdini OTL, and inside OTL you will get this. But if you want to create your own OTL folder, you can put this in your Houdini environment file. Inside Houdini environment you can create a OTL scan path. So in OTL scan path you can put your OTL file, and your all colleagues will take advantage of this tool. And if suppose they are not seeing this tool in digital asset, they can see after refresh digital assets library. And let's say just for another thing, like right now it's in digital asset and I have my own I want to create my own category here. So how you can create that? You can just go right click, type properties, go to tools and context. In context you can see there is right now a digital asset. So I want to create MX Studio. Okay, hit apply, and it will ask you for unlock and save. Yes, definitely, because the asset was locked. Okay, so now if you go to digital asset, you cannot see the VFX pipeline HD anymore, but you can see MX Studio here, and inside MX Studio you can see VFX pipeline HDA. So you select this and take the advantage of this tool. So now the next part of this tutorial is like how we can use this inside Maya. Okay, yeah, sure, you can use this HDA, this OTL file inside Maya, but that with Houdini engine. Houdini engine is an application which is built by side effects. That application is actually can read these OTL file, and you can take the advantage of these OTLs inside Maya. So let's see how we can use this inside Maya. So here I have Maya 2015 here, and you can see the Houdini engine option is there. And once you install a Houdini 13, it will automatically scan for Maya, and it will install for Maya also. But if you didn't find that, you can go to setting and preferences, plugin manager. It will come here like Houdini engine.so. Somehow if you don't find that, so you can just quickly go to browse and go to your Houdini path, and Houdini path inside engine Maya 2015 plugin. You can just click and you can open that. So it will give you this menu here. So here you can see that load asset thing is there, and recently we use these assets, so it will show this also. Asset library, browser, these all things we have. So let's just load that what we created. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So just load that. So if we go to load, and yes, for Houdini engine, if you should have a Houdini license proper. So if you don't have Houdini license, you cannot take advantage of these Houdini digital assets libraries thing inside Houdini. So here you can see that you will get a license error, because these HDA is created from non-commercial edition. But you can like if you are in your studio, you can just test this thing. This works very well with these, at least for this these options like copy shops and some other thing. This will not work for mostly particles and all the things which will not work in this, but at least for basic level you can try a lot more thing. Okay, so I think this is it for this tutorial, and let's just create some OTLs and just test it out. And if you want to clear some other thing which is not covered in this tutorial, you can just comment below there. And subscribe this channel if you want to receive some new update for upcoming tutorials. And hit like if you like this tutorial. Thank you very much. Goodbye.